Hello everyone. So I'm going to do a design for a fixed partial denture on 5 implants. I just did a surgery this morning. The patient came in, I took the teeth out. It was one of those cases on the fly. He just wanted the teeth really quickly for the Father's Day. I took the teeth out this morning. I placed the implants, I took the impression, I made a temporary for him, which I already have it scanned as a pre-op, and took the impression, took the bite, and the patient went home with a temporary. And on Monday, today is Saturday, on Monday I'm going to bring him back to place the temporary bridge made of permanent material, made of zirconia. If he's going to have a lot of shrinkage, I'm simply going to leave this as permanent. If he doesn't have a lot of shrinkage of the soft tissue, I'm going to change it, or I'm going to add porcelain later on after he's healed. So I already scanned it, I have the bite, I have the two models. So let's proceed with the design. Click next. The software is already giving me what it thinks that the teeth should, where the teeth should be. I click on the individual morphing. I try to bring them all in a nice arch. From occlusal view, I do the alignment. By the way, I started at 4:09, so let's see how long it takes me to do the design for this. Seems like we're already pretty close. So I line the incisal edges of the canines with the buccal cusps of the premolars. I bring the counter model in. You can see that it's a little high, there's no problem. Just get them straight. Bring them up a little bit to the level of the molar. Bring it up again. The canine up. Tilt it buccally. Tilt the first premolar buccally. Now establish the midline, which should be here. Number 8, number 9 has an implant under it, so we want to make sure that we have it centered. We'll give the patient a class 1 occlusion, like so he has perfect teeth, like he just took the braces, he just had the braces removed. We want to make sure that where the abutment is, we have plenty of clearance on the mesial or on the distal, on the buccal and on the lingual. Number 7 is good. We can shrink number 8 a little bit to give more clearance for the abandonment on number 7. So it's all clear. Number 8 is not interfering with the abandonment. So number 9 is good. Number 10, in order to do the same thing, we reduce a little bit mesiodistally number 11. So we have plenty of clearance around the coping or the abandonment of number 9 or number 10. Okay, good. Okay, good there. Now we bring the pre up to see where the level of the occlusal plane is. Seems like our teeth are a little longer, so we're going to reduce them in size.
Yes, right now.
This is like it's a little high on the right side, so it's no problem. Now have occlusion on the left torso. We don't have too much occlusion on the anteriors. That is okay, because sometimes there is a little discrepancy in the bites about 0.5 to 1 millimeter. So all of them I leave a little bit more room in the anteriors in order to have room for anterior excursions. That being said, I think we're pretty close. I'm gonna go ahead to the Smart Tools. I'm gonna click the Smart Tools. For the Pantix, I like for the Pantix to press on the soft tissue about 0.5 millimeters, so it's nice and tight. So we'll click on that. Okay, that means I have to do it individually. So we'll click on number 8 with the first Pantix, click on it. Oh, okay, that means I have to make it a little longer into the gums. So the software after that has room to remove part of the tooth structure in order to accommodate the gum. Here. Should be good. If the software doesn't allow us, we'll simply do it manually. These sides are post-extraction, so because of that, I have plenty of room to create an ovate Pantix, so the Pantix can kind of go in the almost down into the socket to have a convex profile. She's not starting the vacuum. think my assistant really wants to be in the video. I think she's doing whatever she can. A little bit more work on the orientation of the teeth. Cool. Let's check the contacts. Seems like the contact on the upper left is pretty good. The contact on the upper right needs a little trimming. See, it's pretty far. The margins of the crowns are pretty far from the margins of the copings, so I'm gonna make them a little longer gingerly, so when they connect easier. Now, all the time when it comes to abutments, I use the pink little border in order to reduce the interface as low as possible, as close to the margin of the abutment. For some reason, the software gives you a higher position, but I always like to lower it as close as possible to the margin. That is going to give me a better, the reason I'm doing this is because it's going to give me a better emergence profile. Now I'm going to trim a little bit close to the tissue, the abutment area. Seems like the contact is very light. I'm going to reinforce there. I'm going to look now for very thin spots, so I'm going to take reduce the size, the transparency, the bridge. Seems like I have plenty of room about the coping here. I have plenty of room about the coping here. Plenty of room, plenty of room, plenty of thickness there. Cool. We'll go to, now I'm going to start to make them all nice and smooth. I see that all the coping sockets are all nice and smooth. They don't have any interference from the neighboring teeth. So the bite of the patient, the teeth of the patients are pretty worn down. I don't think I need to have secondary anatomy on them. I'm going to make them, I'm going to use that. And voila, I think we're very close to being done. The only thing that I need to do now is the screw holes. These copings that I'm using are angulated screw channels, so they use screws that can be angulated, or the screwdriver can be inserted in an angulated position. So I have like 20 degrees that I can work with. So I like all the time to bring it to the occlusal surface of the tooth or the lingual fossa if it's anterior. So this is a view direction. I'm going to point out from this direction, bring it up, and I have a screw hole right in the center of the central fossa of the premolar. We'll do the same for number 10. We want to bring it, the access hole, to the lingual fossa of the tooth. Cool. That's good. Next. Number 10, it seems like the angulation is not too steep. Very easy to bring it on the lingual fossa. The same on number 6. Maybe just 10 degrees angulation that we need. Bring it right in the center of the lingual fossa. And click next. I'm going to show you a little trick. Whenever you have an angulated screw channel, you have to click not to use the screw hole, because the software already gives you a screw hole, but the screw hole is not what you want to use. And if you don't unclick this, you see the use screw hole. This is the one that the software gives you. That screw hole comes in case of number 9 right through the incisal edge. The same with number 10. So we don't want that. So we're not going to use that. Unclick it, and the software is not going to use the yellow ones. It's going to use just the manual ones that we did. You see. So here we are. One more check to make sure the inside of the copings are smooth. They don't have any extra material, any residue. This see how the angulated screw channel is. So this is the axis, long axis of the coping. This is the long axis of the screw channel. The same here, long axis of the coping, long axis of the screw channel. Comes through the lingual fossa, lingual fossa, lingual fossa, lingual fossa, and the central fossa of the occlusal surface of the premolar. just want to check one more time that you don't have any occlusal interference. Oh, we do, so I have to go back. And I'm going to go back and reduce a little bit the area on the gun. Because this is a temporary, I usually like to create a little clearance in the occlusal, at least about 0.5 millimeters, because this is how much the periodontal ligament gives on the posterior. So right now he's biting on the posterior, and that has a give of 0.5 millimeters from the periodontal ligament. So I'd like to give at least that amount of clearance because the implants don't move. And actually I'm going to do it a little more, 0.6. Let's see if it's already met. I need to speed it drastically, so I have to go back. Just go with the minus, because sometimes the software, when it takes away material, takes it, that destroys the morphology of the tooth. So simply go with the minus, you create a kind of clearance. Make it smooth and done. So I have plenty of clearance here for in order for the patient not to bite on those teeth during the temporary stage. Just gonna add the thickness of the incisal edge, seems to be pretty thin, especially if I remove from the lingual. So I'm just compensating by adding to the buccal. And I'm gonna manually remove material from the lingual, so I make sure I don't have any interference. And now we make it nice and smooth. Okay, it seems like we have it. So it's all good, ready to go. Let's finalize it. Yes. Don't use the screw hole that the software gives you. If you let this unchecked, you're going to have two holes, two screw holes, one that the software gives you and another one that you just placed. So you don't want to, you want only one. And done. So a total of 32 minutes for almost a full arch. For a partial arch, it's pretty good. 32 minutes. A full arch is not too much different, except it has more teeth, but you don't have to worry about the contacts, and pretty much is the same. Okay, so that's it for this video. Next video is going to be on nesting, so I'm going to take this job that I designed and I'm going to move it to the nesting software, to the machining software. That is very easy to simply put in the software and nest it, so the machine is going to mill it. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye bye.